episode 4 of Low Carbon Living. It's a bit different. We're still in quarantine, but there's a bunch of charities, local organisations, that kind of thing, that are still kind of essential to deliver food to vulnerable people. I'm really lucky and blessed to be kind of help out sometimes and be really best mates with the guys at Refuse. So I'm going up there today to help out with some food delivery. The fun thing is, a couple of months ago, Refuse's van got nicked. That's not fun. It was then found, which was a big relief, but then it was found to be written off, which is a bit of a disaster. So because Refuse is a food waste organisation, one of our key things is to be environmentally aware. We wanted to get a low carbon alternative to a nasty diesel van. And luckily we were able to get a snazzy electric van on lease. So today I'm going to help out with some deliveries and I'm going to be looking at an electric vehicle. My name is Tom and this is a little series about a low carbon lifestyle. Sometimes this whole sustainable living can feel well intimidating, whether it's thinking you need to buy an electric car or install solar panels on your roof. The majority of us can't do that overnight. We can't do that straight away. Or it looks like completely changing the way you live, living off the land or turning vegan overnight, both of which are fantastic things. But for this mini series, we're going to talk through how each of us can lower our emissions in everyday life and what that might look like.
Here we go, on the bike, on the single speed, up to Chesty Street. It's about 25 minutes. I feel like I'm a cycling vlogger. Francis Cage, cycling maven, Lawrence Carpenter, absolutely love it. Yeah, we've got about 13 deliveries to do today. I understand that we've done over 100 to different people who are either in quarantine or self-isolating or whatever it will be, who can't get out of the house this week. Just making sure people are safe. Here we go, welcome to Chesty Street and the lovely Refuse Cafe. Currently closed. Let's head around the back and see where the van is. That bad boy.
Look, see here, it's all plugged in, charging and ready to go. Look at that, love it.
So you are going to have to make sure you give the right thing to people. Oh, hello.
Unplug, uncharge it. Everything made a noise, that was fun. Dead easy. I think that's on. Oh wow. What a cool car. Okay, and I want it into drive. I want it into regenerative braking. It's not making any noise. This is so cool. So it says I've got 114 miles. I'm on eco. It's just all great, isn't it? I love it. It just drives so cool. It's like, it's so quiet. It's not particularly quick, but you don't need to be because it's a van. And I've got it on the eco setting. I think if I had it off the eco setting, it might drive a bit quicker. One of the fun things electric cars do is as you're braking or as you're slowing down, is they regenerate energy. So all that energy is lost in heating up your brake pads. That's lost to the air or to the ground. When you've got regen, it uses the electric motor to recharge the battery. So if you're driving downhill all the time, you'd have more charge at the end than you would at the start. But yeah, it's just such a fun experience, such a strange experience to be driving in a car that's it's got no emissions, it's got no noise. Yeah, it's just brill. It's just brill, and it's the beginning of the future. It's what it feels like anyway. So I've got to admit now that one of the inspirations for me doing this YouTube channel is purely electric vehicle based. The legend that is Crichton off of Red Dwarf, Robert Llewellyn off of Scrap Heat Challenge, all that kind of stuff, runs this YouTube channel called Fully Charged. It's been going like 10 years. It's got something like 900,000 subscribers, and it basically documents all the world around electric vehicles. So I've watched probably every video that they've released. It's got me so excited about what this green transition might be away from burning billions-year-old plants and animals in the form of petrol and diesel. I've learned a lot about electric vehicles from him. And one of the things I've learned, and one of the things that I think real experiences refuse, is that actually running an electric vehicle is much cheaper than running a normal vehicle. First of all, there's so many less moving parts. I can't remember the figures, but it's something like 1,000 moving parts in a normal petrol diesel car, and in the hundreds of moving parts in an electric car. So there's just less to go wrong, and there's less to fix. The other thing is, because of this regenerative braking thing, you use your brakes that much less. You actually find yourself barely using the brake pads at all. They don't need replacing. You don't need to buy new brake pads. And then the fuel. So at the moment, fuel's pretty cheap. We rode my bike past a petrol station earlier, and it was something like 107 pence per litre of petrol. But as my understanding is, that running an electric vehicle is that much cheaper per mile than running an internal combustion engine, a gas guzzler, as they call them. So, I mean, what does that mean? It basically means that although it might be expensive to buy these things outright, and yet buying a brand new van is an expensive thing to do. Leasing it is an expensive thing to do. But the amount of miles that we're doing, particularly during this delivery period, and then normally when Johnny's driving around the northeast picking up food from all over the northeast, it pays back. If you're doing a certain number of miles, it pays back. Home Tom will come back with some other figures later on. Okay, so Home Tom here, coming back with some figures on costs comparison to a diesel engine. So for refuse, and I'm assuming the diesel van would do 40 miles per gallon, I'm assuming a cost of £1.15 per litre, which I think both those things are helping out the diesel side a little bit. And then I'm assuming that we get 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour, and I'm assuming that a kilowatt hour costs 16 pence, which again I think is helping out diesel a little bit. But still, for every mile, it would have cost 13 pence for the diesel van, and it will cost 4.5 pence for the electric van. Okay, so that's about a third for the electric van. In terms of the miles that we did in December for refuse, on a normal month in December, did about 1,200 miles, 1,156 miles, okay? So that would have cost us in the diesel van about £150, and it would have cost us in the electric van about £53, which is a good thing. In terms of CO2, and this is a bit of a messy calculation, but I'm using the government conversion factors, which change each year, but for 2020, I think it is, maybe 2019, the emissions linked to diesel fuel, burning that many litres of diesel fuel, would have been 338 kilograms of CO2 for that many miles. The equivalent distance for an electric van would be 85 kilograms, which is about a quarter of the emissions. That's exciting. And no particulates, no NOx, no carbon monoxide, no unburnt fuel. That's really exciting. And I'm slowing down from 50 now, down to 30. I've not touched the brake yet. I'm probably not going to touch the brake. I didn't touch the brake into a roundabout. And it's just a different way of driving. It's kind of nice. And then off we go again. That easy. Whee! So before I get too carried away about electric cars, I need to say a couple of things. One, if we all went from if we all went from internal combustion engine vehicles today to electric vehicles tomorrow, it's a bit of a disaster for the climate crisis anyway. We're still using loads of energy. We're still, whether that's in manufacturing cars, that's driving A to B, just to have private cars that many of us sit in on our own when we drive places. Big, huge SUVs for one person, or they sit on our driveways 95% of the time. So it's such a waste of energy, such a waste of resources to have our own cars. What I really want to say is that we should be walking, cycling, busing and training much more than we do driving. There are some people that need a car, whether they're people with who struggle with mobility, or they are people who need to drive for work, or a variety of different things. There are some people that still need a car, and therefore I would think it would be a great thing if we could get more people out of petrol diesel cars into electric vehicles. Fantastic. And for an organisation like Refuse, who's doing lots of small trips to collect food and lots of trips to deliver food, wherever it would be, we're not doing 100 miles at a time driving. We can charge overnight at the cafe, at the warehouse. We can always come back to a full battery. And actually, if you think about all the numbers of companies that are doing deliveries a bit like this, whether it's like an Amazon delivery driver or just your local handyman, your local plumber, your local electrician, your local joiner, these people that are doing little trips back and forth across the city, but who actually are parked up for a lot of time, or in case the delivery drivers are stopping and starting a lot. I feel like this kind of van is the solution. This kind of van is perfect. This kind of way of doing things is fantastic. There's a couple of kids having a fight with some sticks out here. Love that. So the caveat is electric vehicles might not be for everyone, and actually I don't think we all need to get electric vehicles overnight. What we do need to do is we need to stop burning fossil fuels in internal combustion engines. We need to start walking, start using public transport, and start cycling much more. Okay, so coming up to a roundabout here, I'm going to take the foot off the accelerator, we get some regen, and we slow down way in advance of the roundabout. Absolutely fantastic. Got 79 miles left on the clock. It's 2.5 miles to Refuse. Because Great Lumley is a little bit higher than Refuse in terms of altitude. I wonder what we'll be on when we get back. Okay, we're back at the Refuse warehouse with 82 miles on the clock. So we travelled 2.5 miles, we gained 3 miles. It's kind of amazing. Going downhill means you have more charge in the car. That makes sense. That's how it should be. What are my thoughts overall about this? So my first experience of an electric car. I'm not going to buy one tomorrow. We don't need one. We barely use our car. But what I will admit is that this is definitely the future. It feels more relaxing to drive. It's more interesting, more exciting. It feels cheaper. Yeah, just all around a better experience of driving. Obviously, this is the Refuse's van. This is what Refuse is going to use for the next foreseeable. Johnny doing all his pickups, all the catering stuff will be delivered on this. I'm really pleased that we've got it. Now to plug it in. We've got the electric flat. The flap's now open. The one we've got installed here is this guy. That plug there. No, it's not. That one goes into the pod point. One goes in to the car. There's a beep. Blue lights come on, and we're charging. Estimated time to charge at a 6 kilowatt charger, 5 hours to 100%. I really enjoyed my experience of driving an electric vehicle for the first time. The Nissan eNV200 is a fairly basic electric vehicle, but it does the job perfectly for Refuse. I'm really looking forward to us being a bit of an example for businesses in the local area for how you can transition away from diesel vehicles. The point I'm making really is that we need to stop driving private cars and private vehicles as much as we do. If we all went from internal combustion engines to electric vehicles, we've still got some big problems in terms of climate change. So I would not necessarily encourage you to get an electric vehicle tomorrow, unless you're gonna buy a new vehicle, you have to use it, and you're about to in the next few months, then I really would encourage you to buy an electric version. My good friend Ant and his dad Bob were looking into whether Bob should get a new car or just run his 12-year-old car into the ground. My point of view on that was because of the miles that Bob does, it's not going to make sense to manufacture a whole new car. It wouldn't pay back in terms of CO2 unless he upped his miles by 2.5. If you do loads of miles, it really would pay back in CO2 within 5 years. And it may well pay back in cost in a similar amount of time. But the cost to manufacture a vehicle in terms of carbon, it's a bit unknown, it's a bit blurry, it's a bit different where the manufacturers would be. But that is a significant amount. We need to stop using resources at some point in the next 5, 10, 15 years. And it kind of already exists now, but at some point in the next 5 years, there will be a second-hand market for electric vehicles. At that stage where we don't have to manufacture a whole new vehicle, then yeah, I think making a transition away from an internal combustion engine to an electric version would be a really good idea to do. So if you're going to buy a new car soon, yes, don't buy a brand new internal combustion engine. That's a bad thing. Buy a completely new EV instead. There's a report out recently that I'll link below that says, particularly in the UK, lifetime emissions for an electric vehicle are about 1/3 of an internal combustion engine. So it's a really good thing to do. If you don't need to buy a new car, and you don't need a car at all, then I'd encourage you to stop driving for convenience and to start thinking about how you can use your own feet or a bike or public transport. Make a journey last a little bit longer by using public transport, just so it's a little bit less convenient to you, because that will reduce your emissions in a big way. The conclusion is, let's stop burning petrol and diesel in internal combustion engines. Let's put those in museums. Let's get them out at car shows. And let's start only travelling when we really need to, travelling by foot, by bike, and by public transport first. And then when we have to, maybe then buying our own electric vehicle or sharing an electric vehicle in a car club, sharing it together and travelling by EV. Thanks, that's episode 4. I thought that was all I was going to do in terms of this low carbon lifestyle vlog. But I've got a couple of ideas for 2 more episodes. One on low carbon finance and the whole world around money that we could get involved with. And the second one with some book reviews. So you will hopefully get 2 more episodes from me before the end of this mini-series. Thanks, and see you soon.
2, 3.
Very good.